Jack Janigian, Tournament Director for the Detroit Cup Dodgeball Tournament. Welcome to the 5th annual selection show. In this bin here I have 45 teams that are all listed on individual golf balls here, and we're going to spin this basket and draw for 4 separate pools, pools A, B, C, and D. The first 3 pools will have 11 teams, and the 4th pool will have 12 teams. I'm going to turn it over to Corey Rice, who will make the tournament draw.
Here we're drawing for Pool A. Victoria's Secret. Balls of Duty. Bar Down Billionaires. Rice Balls. Suit Setups. Amateur Hour. Free Headshots. My Ball, Your Face. Pale and Frail. Rubber Baby Buggy Bumpers. Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Well, Kevin, good to be back here once again, taking a look at these pools.
Always excited about dodgeball.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to say, first of all, it's pretty sad that we're losing Kevin this year. Kevin's been our director of officiating the last few years, and he's actually moving from the officiating side over to the playing side this year.
Sure, I figure we're playing for a great cause. It'd be nice to have one more team in the mix.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad to have you. In fact, your team got drawn right in this first pool, the Sweet Setups team. How you feeling about your team?
Sweet Setups, we feel pretty strong. We've got it's our work crew at work, and everybody loves dodgeball. So
absolutely. Well, best of luck to you. Unfortunately, you're not going to be getting any benefit of the doubts with the officials, but I'm sure you'll have a good time. What do you see here? Any teams stand out to you in this pool?
Well, I've got to give a shout out to Amateur Hour, South Lyon. It's a local team. It's always good to see local people getting involved in local causes.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, we see a couple of our Canadian teams here, both Balls of Duty and Pale and Frail making this first Pool A. I know some teams that are a little bit familiar with each other, but both have a really good chance to get out of this bracket. Solid teams, deep, great catching teams. Like how they play. Also, I want to say this about our Canadian teams. It's always great. These guys seem to have just phenomenal attitudes. Some of our great examples of respecting the officials, out there just having a good time, but still competing at a high level. That's
sportsmanship, yep, that's what we like to see. They are great examples of that.
Well, it's going to be an interesting Pool A bracket, but let's see what we got going on in Pool B. Let's turn it back to Corey now.
Drawings for Pool B. Zach M's team. Super Wompers. The Dugongs. Allen's Wolf Pack. Final Justice. Kakambas. Pow, right in the kisser. The Dodge Fathers. The Mambas. Shake and Bake. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Wow, that was quite the draw there, Kev. Already off the bat, I can imagine this is going to be one of the toughest pools to get out of. Top 6 teams from each pool advance to the championship bracket. And I see 8 really solid teams, if not more.
Right. It's always tough when you have returning teams. They have that experience and the kind of and understanding what's going on. And so returning teams always seem to do better than they have in previous years.
Oh, and this pool is filled with returning teams that understand good dodgeball strategy and how to make it out of their pools. I want to especially look at their Final Justice. Final Justice, they've been in the championship game the last 2 years, winning the tournament 2 years ago, falling just short last year. You got to imagine they're going to be there right at the end again this year.
I would think so. That was probably the single best match of dodgeball I've ever seen.
It was
personally.
phenomenal. As a referee of that match, but also as a fan of dodgeball, to see Final Justice and Western Springs, the way they played in that final. But I got to give a shout out here to Powerade the Kisser. This is their first time making it down to Detroit. They are a Toronto-based team, but they're a team that have won some of the biggest tournaments in all of North America, winning literally thousands of dollars in dodgeball tournaments and just leaving their competitors in the dust. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust to the different styles of play here in Detroit, and I assume they're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
It'll be interesting to see what Ricky Bobby does with his team, Shake and Bake. You know, if nothing else, everybody's due for a good laugh.
Absolutely. And Allen's Wolfpack, they've been a solid contributor to Detroit dodgeball each year. And I gotta imagine the way they understand strategy and just how the game is played, that they're going to be a team that has a good chance to advance out of this pool as well. But all in all, a tough pool here. I give the edge a little bit to Final Justice and Powell to get out of there. Powell, in fact, their team captain, can throw right-handed and left-handed, both over 70 miles an hour. It's going to be a sight to see. This is going to be a great pool. It's going to be fun to watch. I look forward to watching some games out of there and seeing who's going to be some surprise teams to make it out of Pool B.
No doubt. Can't wait to see what Pool C holds in store.
Yeah, let's go back to you, Corey.
Here we go for Group C. Task Force Unicorns. The Warriors. Western Springs Dodgeball. Ain't. Beastie Balls. Thundercats. Get Out of Dodge. Devil Bats. Sphere Snatchers. Hosers. Hoodlums.
Well, Pool B was strong, but Pool C, once again, seems to be a pretty loaded bracket here.
Yeah, we've got some teams coming in from Chicago, some pretty strong defending champs coming back with Western Springs.
Yeah,
We've got some ballers.
they're going to be there at the end. But the interesting thing is there's some from Western Springs, the dodgeball organization, that have jumped over, and they're competing on Task Force here. And so you're going to have the two Western Springs teams from the same franchise in the same pool. That doesn't mean they're necessarily going to face each other. You're not going to face everyone in your pool, but once again, it just is going to make that pool very difficult.
It's tough to get out when you got 3 or 4 teams that are you consider a shoo-in, you know, a staple in your bracketry. So
We have two right from the Final Four between Western Springs and Get Out of Dodge. They were both there at the end last year.
Get Out of
And
Dodge.
then Devil Bats, another team from Canada, one of our Canadian-based teams, one of the top teams in all of Canada, the third-ranked team right now in a lot of the tournaments. They usually are second or third right behind Powell, but they're the team that I've been told gives Powell the very best competition on the most consistent basis. They have some great catchers. Solid all-around top-to-bottom team there with the Devil Bats.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. We got the Hosers coming from Novi, another local team. Again,
Absolutely.
always nice to see local teams supporting local causes.
A number of teams from Novi this year. That's great. It's probably our highest participation right from our home city here. Seeing that the church is based in Novi as well as the stadium that we're playing in this year in Novi. Thundercats back once again. Good to see a team back. But once again, top 6 from this pool are going to advance. I'd be hard-pressed to name 6 that are going to come out of here for sure. I really like Western Springs, but top to bottom, another strong pool.
Too close to call.
Absolutely. Well, we got one pool left. Not a whole lot of surprise, but let's take a look at our final 12 teams.
And for our final pool, Pool D. Delicious and delicious. TGSG 2.0. Dodger Wrench. Pound Stomp Squad. Tech Support. Lakers. Urban Rednecks. Ragtags. Scale Breakers. DTD.
Well, we've got all our teams in our pools now. We get scared from Pool D.
I'd say this pool's wide open. Some new teams, some returning teams, some young teams, a little bit of everything here, and
It's anybody's game.
it really is. You know, I like the Stock Squad. I think they'll be solid. Of course, the Lakers. You know, it's good again to have these returning teams. Lakers a little bit of experience. Some of them have played on the college circuit, and I think they're going to do just fine. I would definitely pick the Lakers to come out of this bracket, but after that, I just don't know where to go.
Well, I heard Tony is really, really good.
What about the other guys?
I don't know about the other
Yeah,
guys.
well, another Novi-based team, so you got to give a shout out to them. Love to have those Novi teams there. Urban Rednecks, we got some guys coming from Kettering over in Flint, so good to have some of them coming down. And
For sure.
I love Scale Breakers, probably my favorite name out there this year. Understand that this team is going to be a team of big fellas, some football players from Northville High School.
Oh,
as well.
from Northville.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So I got no real predictions in this bracket. I think anybody can come out of it. I don't see necessarily anyone rising all the way to the top, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot of opportunity to be one of the top 6 teams to come out of this pool. Kev, as you look overall, we've drawn all 45 teams. If you had to give me a Final Four right now, I know coming out of pool play, we don't know how things are going to line up, but give me your Final Four. Give me a prediction here that we can put the table.
Well, on reputation alone, I could put Power in the kisser. Right there in the Final Four. Western Springs Dodgeball returning champs. Final Justice, they were runners-up last year. And Devilbats, team from the Great White North. Always good to see any participation we can get.
So you got 2 Canadian teams, a team
Yep.
from East Lansing, and then a Chicago-based team. So no necessarily teams from Detroit there. I do have one team from Detroit. I'm looking at Free Headshots. Matt Jones captains that team. They were very solid last year. They were just a step away from making our Final Four. But you know what, Kev, I'm also with you. I have Final Justice, Western Springs, and Powell right in the kisser there as well. Again, you know, what do we know? That's why we've got to play the games on Saturday. You know, it's not about what we say here. It's about how those games, how the pools come out, and we'll see what happens.
For sure, hopefully Saturday night by about 10:30 we'll have a crowned winner and all the bragging rights till next year.
Sounds good. Well, just to take a quick look then also at the women's bracket, I want to just say we have a solid group of ladies coming out this year. Excited about that as always. 8 is the most that we've had in a tournament. Again, 3 teams from Canada. Also, Kev, I'm taking a shot at team ownership this year. I have a team participating. We throw underhand.
Okay.
So we're going to see how that goes. A little mix of some high school students and some older as well, but try to give some of those Canadian teams a run for their money.
Jack, I remember that you once or twice threw underhand.
I did.
Yourself.
I did. Not quite at the skill level of some of the girls on the team that I'm helping to organize here,
Okay.
but again, the A team is back from Canada. They are defending champs.
Yeah.
They pretty much ran through the bracket last year, only getting some competition from some of their Canadian counterparts. But some returning teams again. Full show is always there. See at recess,
Sure.
making their 3rd appearance. Yeah, gotta love everything we're seeing here. But again, Canadian teams seem to rise to the top of these women's brackets. But we'll see if someone else gives them a run for their money this year.
Yeah, I'm excited about Girl Scout dropouts. I'm hoping maybe they bring some cookies to bribe the refs.
Oh, absolutely.
So Thin Mints and Samoas are always a fan favorite.
I like cookies. Well, hey, it's anybody's tournament. It all goes down on Saturday. Teams can start showing up at 1 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to have a captain's meeting at 1:30, and the first games will go down at 2. You're going to also find the schedules listed online later today. So take a look on DetroitCupDodgeball.com for those schedules and everything else you need to know. Any final questions you might have, feel free to drop us an email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks so much for your time, and look forward to seeing you all out there on Saturday.
See you Saturday.
Dodge on.